What's in Your Neighborhood by Una McLain. Hi, my name is Una. I live in Echo Park in Los Angeles, California. My little sister and I want to learn more about the rocks that are in our neighborhood. Today we are geologists, hiking on our Allegiant Valley trails. We want to learn about rocks and weathering. We brought a magnifying glass and a journal to write our notes in. First thing I noticed as we begin our hike is a lot of tan and brown rock called sandstone. Sandstone is a sedimentary rock made of sand-sized minerals or rock grains. Most sandstone is made of quartz and feldspar. The sandstone on our trails was mostly tan and brown, but with a little yellow and pink. I collected samples and made good notes in my journal. You could really see the layers of sedimentation in these rocks. The older rocks are on the bottom and the younger rocks are closer to the surface. I also noticed that some of the layers are slanted instead of straight. On the ground, I see crumbled and flaky bits of rock. And this makes me think, what makes these rocks fall or break apart? What forces are at work here? I bet plant roots grow down and into the rock, and over time break the rocks apart. And even bigger roots like tree roots must do the same thing. Tree roots are really big and strong. They can even move rocks and make them tumble down the hillside. As we move on, I keep looking for signs of weathering and erosion. I spot some holes. Maybe small animals like moles, gophers, or snakes burrowed into the ground. This might allow water to soak into the ground and break apart the rocks. We found a gully along the trail. Water might travel down the gully when it rains, maybe even carrying bits of rock with it. Then we came around the bend and found our first green grassy spot. I wonder, how is this area so much greener than the rest of the trails? I think it might be the rainwater that collects here, but how can I tell? In this green area, I see mud on the ground, instead of dry, crumbly sandstone like on the rest of the trail. We rest for a while on this fallen tree. It is decomposing, or breaking down on this hillside. Wow, look at these vines growing over and into the rocks. As I look closer, I see spiders making webs in these vines. And in some of these rocks, we see tiny holes. Maybe a spider or an insect has burrowed into these rocks to make a home. Over time, I'm sure that this activity would break apart these rocks. In the dry season, people clear the hillsides to keep safe from forest fires. This keeps houses safe, but does not keep soil in place when it rains or strong winds come. After all this hiking and researching, it is nice to stop and see the view. I love my beautiful city. By now, it is getting late and it's time to hike back. Every hardworking geologist deserves an ice cream. Yum! A great way to celebrate our adventure. After our ice cream, we organize my samples, and I review my notes. I made a collage to help understand my data, but I still have a lot of questions that need answering, like, what happens to the rocks on the trails when it rains? Will the rocks and trails look different? Will we see proof of weathering and erosion after it rains? Will the rain break apart rocks and carry them down the hillside? What will we find at the bottom of the hillside? I waited over a month for the rains to come, and finally we had 2 days of rain. So back on the trails I went, and I brought my questions with me. First I noticed all the sand and mud that the rain washed to the bottom of the trails. I am collecting samples again. Wow, look at all the green weeds growing here. Rainwater must have flowed down this area. Look at all this debris that was washed down into the gully. I see leaves, rocks, and twigs. Another sample to bag. Again, I am making sure to take good notes. I see a lot of tree bark at the base of the trail. The soil is now moist and dark brown, instead of the light tan before the rains came. I even saw a horse on the trail. A helicopter flies overhead, and as I look up, I notice how much bluer the sky is after the rain. Just beautiful. It seems the rain has brought new green life to the area. Here I am at the green grassy spot again. I was right, water does collect here. Look at all this mud. The rain brought down a lot of leaves. We even collected some. This is a pipe that carries extra water down from the hillside. Pipes like this help stop erosion. The rain even washed away spiderwebs from the vines. And look how lush and green it is now. I now see how water and gravity work together to carry the leaves down the trails. Two powerful forces. Maybe someday this dead tree will tumble down the hill in a big storm. I sat for a while and wondered what was at the very bottom of the trail. Would it look any different than what I just saw? So I climbed down to have a look. First I noticed a lot of loose soil and a lot more leaves, sticks, and little rocks. I even found some trash. Don't worry, I picked it up. I was amazed at all the leaves and mud carried down by the rain. I found dog paw prints in the mud. I made my own footprints and handprints. I wonder what storm might bring that big boulder down. Balls of mud have collected at the bottom of the trail. Look at this tree! So cool! I am feeling pretty good about the answers to my questions. I have learned rain is a powerful force. It does weather and erode rock, and carries rocks and debris down the hillside. I love having such an amazing place right in my neighborhood. I had so much fun collecting all my data and research. Now it's your turn. Go out and explore. Find out what's in your neighborhood. The end.